$315 trillion. That is the current estimate of total global debt. It is a number so large the human brain cannot truly process it. It is 3 times the size of the entire global economy. Every factory, every harvest, every paycheck on Earth multiplied by 3 just to pay the tab. We are told the world is drowning in red ink. We are told the United States is living on borrowed time. But in all the panic, we rarely ask the most obvious question. If the whole world is in debt, who exactly do we owe? Money doesn't disappear into a black hole. For every borrower, there is a lender. So who owns the world? What is debt? Before we panic, we have to understand the machine. When you hear the phrase global debt, the media usually mixes together 2 very different things. First, there is private debt. That's your credit card, your mortgage, and companies like Apple or Tesla borrowing money to build new factories. That is households and corporations betting on their own future. Then there is public debt, government debt. This is different. When a government needs to build a bridge, fight a war, or fund healthcare, and it doesn't have enough tax revenue, it issues a bond. A bond is simply a fancy IOU. The government says, "Give me money today, and I promise to pay you back later with interest." That IOU is called debt, but to the person holding it, it's an asset. And here is the first secret. One person's liability is another person's savings. The world's debt is not money owed to space or to Mars. It is money the world owes to itself. How much debt does the world have? According to the Institute of International Finance, total global debt now exceeds $315 trillion. To understand how big that is, imagine stacking $1 bills. That stack wouldn't just reach the moon. It would go far beyond it, past the sun. Since the 2008 financial crisis, and especially after the 2020 pandemic, the global printing presses never truly stopped. Governments borrowed to keep economies alive. Corporations borrowed because interest rates were near zero. It fueled growth. Homes were bought. Tech empires were built. Supply chains kept moving, all on credit. But now the bill is coming due. As interest rates rise, servicing that debt becomes far more expensive. And while Japan, China, and Europe are all deeply indebted, there is one borrower that matters more than any other, the anchor of the global financial system, the United States of America. The United States and debt. The U.S. national debt is now over $36 trillion. That is roughly $100,000 for every single person living in America. But the raw number isn't the most important part. Economists focus on something called debt to GDP. Think of it like comparing your credit card balance to your yearly income. For decades, the safe zone was considered under 60%. Today, the United States is over 120%. In other words, the total debt is now larger than the entire U.S. economy. Historically, America only borrowed this much during existential moments, World War II, the Cold War, and afterward, the debt was paid down. But over the last 20 years, something changed. Tax cuts, wars in the Middle East, financial bailouts, pandemic stimulus. Instead of paying down debt, the country began borrowing more just to pay interest on old loans. Economists call this a fiscal spiral. If a normal family did this, the bank would take their house. But the United States has a unique power. It can print the currency the debt is owed in. Which brings us to the real question. Who is allowing America to keep borrowing like this? Who is buying all this debt? To whom does America owe money? There is a popular myth that China owns America, that Beijing could make one phone call and collapse the U.S. economy. That is not true. In reality, the majority of U.S. debt is owed to Americans themselves. roughly 70 to 75% is held domestically. Who holds it? Social Security trust funds, military and government pensions, banks, mutual funds, and the Federal Reserve. If you have a 401k, a pension, or even a basic savings account, you likely own U.S. debt. When you pay Social Security taxes, the government doesn't store that money away, it spends it, and in return, it places Treasury bonds, IOUs, into the trust fund. The remaining portion, about 25 to 30%, is held by foreign countries, and the largest holder isn't always China. It's often Japan. Why? Because U.S. Treasury bonds are still considered the safest asset in the world. When foreign countries sell goods to America, they earn dollars. They need somewhere safe to store those dollars, so they lend them back to the United States. This creates a fragile loop. The world sends America products. America sends IOUs. If those IOUs were suddenly called in, it wouldn't just hurt the U.S., it would devastate the global financial system. This is financial, mutually assured destruction. What leaders and media say. For years, economists quietly warned about this. Now they are speaking openly. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell has said the U.S. is on an unsustainable fiscal path, with debt growing faster than the economy. Treasury Secretary Yellen has warned that rising interest costs are crowding out spending on essential services. And recently, a shocking milestone was reached. The United States now spends more money paying interest on its debt than it spends on national defense, more to rent money than to defend the country. Even Wall Street leaders have called this the most predictable crisis in history. The message is clear. This cannot continue forever. So, why should this matter to you? If America mostly owes money to itself, is this really a problem? Yes, because there are only 3 ways governments deal with massive debt. They cut spending. Cutting spending means less funding for schools, infrastructure, and retirement programs. Raising taxes means more money taken directly from you. Printing money is the quiet option. When more money is created, each dollar you earn is worth less. That is inflation. The debt doesn't disappear. It is passed to you through higher prices for food, rent, gas, and healthcare. This is the hidden tax. The national debt is not just a number on a screen. It is a claim on your future work. The world is in debt to itself. A massive, fragile system held together by trust, promises, and confidence. As long as everyone believes the music will keep playing, the system survives. But as the numbers climb and the interest compounds, one question remains. When the music finally stops, who will be left without a chair?